Hi, everyone. I am Cindy Rowe, and I am so glad you are joining me. This is the Kindness Advantage podcast, where in 10 minutes or less, I will give you ways to implement kindness not only in your business, but your personal life as well. So, thank you so much for joining me. Today's topic is that of bullying, right? So, just recently, a friend shared a post that got me thinking, and it was the conversations we need to have with our children when they're going back to school. And so I jotted down some things. So if you're watching me on YouTube, and I'll be referencing the notes I took because I want to make sure I nail this, right? And I thought, what a great opportunity for the month of August to really drive home bullying. So if you will join me on this journey this August, I am going to each week of my podcast talk about a different angle of bullying when it comes to our children and our school aged friends. So, thank you so much again for joining me. Let's dive in, okay? So, I think not only, as parents, and I'm not sure if you are, but I am a parent. I am a parent of a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. So the 17-year-old is going to be a senior in high school. Please pinch me because that went way too fast. I'm also a bonus mom to a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old. So bullying is right there. I think more so, it gets worse in the middle school and high school arena. So, as parents or caregivers or educators, I know I've got a few educators listening in on my podcast, or just community members, I think we have a valuable opportunity to have really good, meaningful conversations with our students or our young ones, right? The littles, I call them, um, or just your children, depending on if they're teens, tweens, or littles, right? It doesn't even have to be super long. Like we know that they don't have a long attention span anyway. So like a 5-minute conversation could really shape the way they have interactions this coming school year. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? If maybe they became an advocate when they saw a friend being bullied, or maybe they think twice about picking on somebody, even if it was in fun and spirit, right? Or maybe they'll think about stepping up and opening up if something were to happen to them and feel comfortable doing it. I think we've got a big open opportunity here. So, what I think you should do in this discussion, this is where my notes come in handy, right? I think we need to teach our children, it all starts at home anyway, right? It gets supported at school, but it does start at home. Like, what are you driving home as important qualities and important standards that you have for your children? And I think kindness and empathy need to be at the top. No surprise, right? But driving home that the idea of picking on somebody or belittling somebody based on their appearance or their background is not cool. There's no reason to pick on somebody because they're tall, they're short, they're chubby, they're skinny, whatever color they are, if they have a disability. Like, there's no need for it. Everyone deserves respect and understanding. I also think that we should drive home the point of not excluding anyone because of maybe the way they look or the different circumstances that they face. Letting them know that each person is unique, and that's what makes us all amazing, right? Because those differences should be celebrated, not ridiculed. And I think we need to teach something that maybe we learn later on in life, that true friends really embrace diversity, because it's better to learn from somebody else's point of view, right? And learn from their experiences. Now, I know that's a lot to ask of an elementary student, right? But knowing that you can include others no matter what they look like or what they're wearing or how they behave, like if they just look different than you, that's not a good reason to exclude them, right? Speaking of that, the other idea I had was talking about material possessions. Now, some families might be able to afford 7 different outfits for the week, right? Some families can only afford 2. So it's important to let your children know that just because somebody wears the same stuff every day or every other day, or maybe the same shoes all the time, or they have a backpack that looks tattered or used, that doesn't make them less worthy or less of a friend. And really tell them and explain to them that children can have amazing dreams and aspirations and have the potential, and it's not determined by their possessions. And I think that's super important. What they wear doesn't give how they truly are as a person. The other thing we definitely need to talk about, and I think this might be a no-brainer, is that teasing and bullying actually hurts people. And that could be just by eye rolling, brushing people off, calling them names. It doesn't even have to be physical. Sharing some embarrassing information on social. I can't even imagine what our children are dealing with that we didn't have because we didn't have social media. How they compare themselves to each other is just probably insane. And I'm going to dive a little bit deeper in that. I found some really alarming statistics. So in a future episode, I'm definitely going to share that. But because I like to keep these in 10 minutes or less, I'll wait for the next episode. But on that same token, with teasing or hurting people with words, emphasizing that empathy is and kindness, they're such powerful tools that can help foster compassion and understanding, and realizing that whatever we say with our words or whatever we do with our actions actually has an impact, right? And maybe encouraging them to maybe walk in their shoes. Like, we've used that term a lot as adults, but maybe having that conversation with your child about, have you ever thought what it might be like for them at home? Have you ever thought about how hard it might be for them to concentrate at school? So putting themselves in the other person's shoes. And finally, I think we should drive home the point that school is for learning, and encourage them to be kind and supportive of their peers, right? Learning together, collaborating. This is all going to help them become the best humans possible. I'm going to end it because we're close on the time, but finally, this 5-minute conversation should really just teach them to respect and appreciate the differences of others, have kindness and empathy for others, and speak up if you see something. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you love this podcast, please share it with somebody that might find it beneficial. Give me a thumbs up. I would love a comment or two. And of course, leave me a review. I would appreciate that. But as I leave you every week, I'll leave you today. Together, we can create waves of change through kindness. Have a wonderful day.